What is up, guys? Alex here from technoclass.com, coming to you with a unscripted unboxing of the Motorola Moto X. This is a very high-end flagship from the Motorola brand, and yes, Motorola is coming back with a vengeance here in the Philippines, and this is one of the products they're going to be bringing in this month. Anyway, the Moto X is a 5.2-inch 1080p AMOLED phone, 13 megapixel camera, and a really fast Snapdragon 801 2.5 gigahertz processor. We're going to take a look at it right now. It's still very much sealed, so we'll be unboxing it after the break. All right, the moment of truth. Wow. Okay. There we go. Ha. There's the phone. And there is the phone. Yeah. So it's a nice 5.2-inch build. Not a lot of huge bezels right here. Very, very good grip right there. Let's put that over here. There's a nice Moto X little paperwork box right here. A very small charger. This is one of the smallest chargers I've ever seen. It's got two outputs. It's got two USB outputs. That's really awesome. And oh, there we go. All right, USB cable for charging and data transfer. Here we have a 3.5 millimeter headphone with a button. Nice. Look at this packaging. This is actually kind of high end. This packaging, you know, it's not like super cheap packaging. This is where your pin poker should be. Nice. They even have this little handle thing on it. That's a nice touch. Wow, that's a lot of paperwork. Let's get started. Safe, smart, and protected, and limited warranty. That's a really thick multi-language paper box right there. Anyway, here is the phone itself. We have a cover right there, which we will remove shortly. And it's not one of those really crappy plastics. It's one of those super thick sort of screen protector plastics. That's really nice. Here is the phone itself. And man, that looks really sexy. There's a 2.5D Gorilla Glass here, which curves around the edges right there. And we have the Motorola back, which is really nice. You know, this is the black version. There is no other version out there. In the US and other countries, you can buy one that is customized. All right, we have the Moto X all booted up, and as you can see, we are using the sort of ambient display right now. If you wave your hand, it will have the ambient display. That's really good. If you hold it, it will tell you certain notifications. Of course, we just booted this guy up, so we won't get any notifications. Anyway, this is the home screen, and it already got my wallpaper because, you know, Google does that stuff. All right, so now we're taking a look at the phone, and as you can see, my camera is actually picking up the infrared sensors. That is unique to the Moto X. And if you can see on the corners of the phone, there's a bit of a light that's coming out of the sensors right there. You won't see that in the naked eye. That's infrared. But that's basically where it will see if you wave your hand like this, and it will show you the ambient display. And of course, you can unlock it. The ambient display actually shows you, you know, your texts, your emails, and stuff like that. So if you do this, and if you have a text, you can actually read it right there, which is really, really nice. All right, so up here in front of the phone, we have, you know, a speaker grill right there, speaker grill on the bottom. Now, these are two different speakers. This is not a stereo speaker. One is for your calls, and one is a speakerphone. Which there are no speakers on the back or on the bottom. The speakers are over here, so you can listen to your music and whatnot facing towards you. We have the 1080p AMOLED display here that gets triggered by the infrared sensors. If you want to, you can wave it around. You can wave to silence calls and stuff like that. And yeah, that looks really, the AMOLED display looks really, really nice. It pops out of the 2.5D Gorilla Glass display, really black background here, nothing to see except the display. You have I believe a 2 megapixel camera right here, and hidden somewhere there probably is the proximity and light sensitivity sensor. Pretty simple front there. The capacitive buttons are on the screen themselves, as you can see on the bottom right there. So you don't need a physical capacitive buttons. And of course, the lights that you see on the corners are not visible to the naked eye, so you won't necessarily see those. I'm not sure if there is a notification LED though. We'll have to find out later on. Over on the left side of the phone, you'll see nothing except for a metal band, a really thin side right here. There's a bit of a cut there for the antennas. And on the bottom, we have a micro USB port for charging and data transfer. A little bit of the logos right there, the trademark logos. On the right, you have a volume rocker and a power button with different textures. This one is a bit textured. There's a bit of engraving there or lining there. So you'll definitely know which one is the power button, which one is the volume rocker. And on top, we have the 3.5mm headphone jack and the slot for your nano SIM. Remember, this is a nano SIM phone, a single SIM phone, and you use that pin poker thing to open the nano SIM tray. On the back, we have this super soft touch plastic, a bit, maybe rubberized, but it is, I believe, polycarbonate. There's a bit of a microphone, noise cancellation microphone over there, a Motorola logo over there with an indentation, so you can definitely easily feel where that is. And the 13 megapixel Sony IMX214 camera, I believe, or 12 something, and a double flash in a circle. So a dual LED circular flash, which is great for fashion photography. It improves the shadows, actually removes the shadows in most cases. Overall, I think the design is super duper awesome, extremely unique. The build quality is amazing. It feels really, really solid in the hand. I don't think you'll bend this or anything. And yeah, the metal sides are really great in the hand, really solid. And the back is really soft touch. Of course, in the US, you can definitely change the back, buy a different, bamboo back, an actual wood back and stuff like that. But here in the Philippines, we'll get the black one, which is perfectly fine. It's a nice rubbery texture, and it feels really great in the hand. The 5.2-inch display is a perfect size, and the front panel here is great. The 2.5D Gorilla Glass is really, really cool, especially since you won't see anything else except the display. And of course, you can always turn on the display and make that waving gesture kind of like a magician. All right, so we're gonna check out the user interface next. And as I've shown you before, if you wave your hand, it will pop out the ambient display, and you just unlock it by doing like this. By the way, this is now, the software update is now available for Android 5.1. So Motorola is definitely well known for its Android updates, because they were once owned by Google, and still they have, some of the fastest software updates in the business. And now we are getting Android 5.1 on the Moto X. Now, like I've shown you before, you can turn on the ambient display by waving your hand, but also there is a unique UI quirk here that if you twist your hand like this, it will turn on the camera, which is a nice gesture. It will easily start your camera up. All right, so one extra feature that the Moto X has, of course the Motorola phones has, is this sort of recognizing your voice and actually responding to it, or actually recording your voice and giving you, sort of like Google Now, but a little bit better. So here's an example of it. I'm not gonna show you how I set it up because it takes a little bit of time. And of course, this is just,
say your launch phrase to get Moto's attention. For example, okay, Moto X, what's up?
Lisa Lewis sent you a text message at 2:34 p.m. saying, I'm running a bit late. Be there soon.
That's one of the features. It can actually read your messages to you, if you're driving and stuff like that, which is kind of nice. All right, so of course, like I've said before, this is running on Android 5.0 Lollipop with an update to 5.1, which we will be installing very soon. But yeah, this is a very smooth interface and almost a stock Android. As you can see right here, it even has the Google Now launcher on the left side of the swipe. And yeah, it's very, very smooth. It's pretty much what you want in a UI. It's smooth, it's futuristic looking, and I can't wait to install 5.1 on this guy. Anyway, we're gonna install some apps on this guy and finish up this unboxing, and we'll see you guys in just a bit after I install some stuff. Hey Moto Doggy. Good morning.
Good morning. Have a good day.
Hey Moto Doggy. Take a selfie. Hey Moto Doggy. When's my next meeting?
You have a calendar entry tomorrow at 10 p.m. The title is Big Time Show Now.
Hey Moto Doggy. Set an alarm for 5 a.m.
Okay, 5 a.m. Setting your alarm.
Hey Moto Doggy. Talk to me.
Okay, I'll announce incoming calls and texts for the next 30 minutes.
Hey Moto Doggy. Find my phone. Oh my god, guys. All right, so we have the Moto X right here. We have properly unboxed it. I have actually been using it for actually about a day and a half now. And am I super impressed with this phone. It's probably one of my favorite phones out there right now. Super duper smooth interface. The stock Android interface is ridiculously fast. And I don't know why people just don't use this stock interface. They just want to make their skin so ugly. But anyway, this is the Moto X. Of course, this is the second gen, which is coming to the Philippines, 16,999. And we have installed a bunch of apps already. And I just showed you how to use the Hey Moto Doge prompt that is voice activated. You don't need to touch your phone at all. You can do a lot of things without touching your phone. And of course, I did show you at the unboxing where you can just wave your hand and it will run this ambient display, which will show you your notifications if you have some. All right, so there are a bunch of gestures you can do when the phone is locked. And I don't know if I showed you this earlier, but you can do a sort of twisting motion to start the camera, another twisting motion to start the front-facing camera like that. And from lock, if you need a flashlight, you just make a 2 chopping motion and you'll get a flashlight. 2 chopping motion again, you'll turn off the flashlight. By the way, that flashlight is a dual LED flash with a circular display, circular LED light, which is great. Also, at the same time, when we were using this for about 1 day and a half, we have installed Android 5.1 update on this guy, which improved a bit. Actually, particularly the 4G LTE connectivity for some reason. But, you know, it does seem much more smoother. But then again, the 5.0 version, the original one that comes out of the box, is already very, very smooth. And as you can see, this is stock Android. As much as possible, there are some Motorola customizations, but man, is this smooth. The folders are, you know, pretty much stock Android. The app drawer is pretty much stock Android. And everything runs super duper smooth. Another surprising thing here is that the camera is actually very, very good. I'm actually quite surprised. This is the low light shot. As you can see, you can still read the plaque of recognition. And here is a nice, bright shot of a pet with her puppies. And it's a very, very sharp shot here. That's a plant. And some signs right here. The only thing I can notice that is slightly off here is that the reds are a little bit super duper punched up. You know, the colors are super duper reddish in some shots. But the camera is pretty good. And the front facing camera as well. I don't know if I have a front facing shot here to show you. The video is good as well. And there's a front facing shot. And that's another front-facing shot. Really, really good camera. I'm quite impressed. I have to test it out a little bit more. And the battery, though, is a little bit short. Of course, it's only 2300 milliamp hours, and it's sealed in there. As far as performance is concerned, we have a 46,175 points on Antutu, which is pretty damn high already. You know, we're getting up to 50,000 these days, but 46,000 is no slouch, and that's definitely one of the top tier processing packages. And of course, you're still getting a stock Android with no bloatware. That's amazing. All right, so as far as gaming performance is concerned, of course, we are using the Snapdragon 801, which I remember correctly is about 2.5 gigahertz quad core. And we're playing Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, one of the pretty much the most demanding game you can ever get on an Android. And admittedly, this isn't running at the maximum settings because no phone can definitely do the maximum. You know, there's only one device I've seen that can run this game at the highest quality setting, that is the Xiaomi Mi Pad, the Tigro K1. But right now, as you can see, we are running this at, I should increase this a little bit. There you go. Should do that. We should do high visual effects, classic shadows, a little bit detailed reflections. And let's get back to the game and show you how that looks. All right, so there we go. That's my settings. I probably around, 80% or 75% of the quality bars I picked up. And as you can see, this runs really, really smoothly at that setting. But if you go higher, this will turn into a little bit of a framey game. So I would suggest keeping... shoot some dudes right here. I don't know who I'm aiming at. That guy, I want to steal his car. And you're now hearing the speakers on our Motorola Moto X 2nd Gen. The speakers that work are on the right side, this front-facing speaker right here, and you can't easily muffle it. But there you go, gaming performance on the Moto X, as expected with the Snapdragon 801, is very, very good. Let's try and steal this car if we can. Get out of the car. I want your car. Yeah. So as you can see, I like that song. As you can see, we are playing this game at near maximum quality and really good frame rate still. So yeah, that's the gaming performance of the Moto X 2nd Gen. Alright guys, so I think that's about it for the quick unboxing, sort of unscripted, of the Moto X 2nd Gen. This is coming to the Philippines this July for $16,899. And man, am I super impressed. I can't put this phone down at all. I'm really, really loving this phone. After just 1 day and a half, this is... I really want this phone. So I own the Samsung Galaxy S5. You know, that thing is a powerhouse, but the ROM, the UI on it is super laggy. Because Samsung just likes lag. You know, I've tried the LG G4. It's a nice phone, supremely powerful. And yeah, they're never ever this smooth. The LG G4 is smooth, but it's not this smooth. I have the S5. It's smooth, but no, not really. You know, if you ask me, this is one of my top 3 favorite phones this year so far, if only because of the lack of bloatware and the Android OS that they're using is completely clean. Of course, except for the really welcome Motorola customizations. I do like this build. It's really, really beautiful. And you can see all the infrared lights blinking right there. You won't see that with the naked eye. The customizations with the hands-free. You know, you can talk to your phone on the table without ever touching it and actually do stuff. You can call people. You can say, okay, I'm driving, do this, and stuff like that. It's really showing me how much I hate bloatware and how much I hate convoluted UI skins, okay? So the Zenfone 2 is probably the closest thing to this that I could say is in terms of smoothness. But the Zenfone 2, after I reviewed it, it's gotten so much more apps, and you have to update like 10 apps every week, and you don't even use those apps. It's gotten crazy on the Zenfone 2 side. Of course, the Zenfone 2 is still a awesome phone, and I mean, it's got more RAM and more storage space than this guy. This is only, I believe, 2 gigs of RAM and 16 gigs of ROM, but I'm still going for this guy because I want the smoothness and the lack of bloatware this guy provides. And I believe if you put it together, I mean, I'll show you in the full review later on. I think this guy has arguably a better camera than the Zenfone 2. Anyway, I'm super duper happy with the Moto X 2nd Gen. I like the design. It's a metal build and everything. Anyway, that's it for a quick unboxing, sort of. Alex from thetechnoclass.com here. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time on the full review, hopefully.